I was going through Instagram and one of your skits popped up, and then I went on a True Diamond rabbit hole.
I mean, we are not chasing reach anymore. We are chasing reasons to be remembered.
I want to get into this whole Shark Tank situation. There are nearly 1 million people following a lab-grown diamond brand on Instagram. Not because of the diamonds, because of a delusional, eccentric, often inappropriate fictional jeweler called Zirak. And because the founder behind him understood something most traditional brands in India still haven't figured out. In 2026, attention is the asset. Story is the product. Make someone laugh, they trust you. Trust you, they buy from you. My guest is Darayus Mehta, co-founder of True Diamond. In 2 years, he's built a jewelry brand with nearly 1 million followers, turned a Shark Tank projection into one of the smartest brand moves any Indian founder has pulled off, and created a content universe so distinctive that people follow them even when they've never bought a diamond in their lives. But we're going beyond the content today. We're talking about the human behind the character, the industry thesis, the Shark Tank story, and the very uncomfortable question of what happens when the founder becomes bigger than the brand. Day 0, no PR filter, no highlight reel, episode 6. Darayus, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So before we get into True Diamond, I want to understand you first. Padua, Italy, for cosmetics and fragrances, then L'Oreal, then Beardo, and then somehow you ended up building a lab-grown diamond brand. That's not a straight line. Walk me through it. What was the pull at each stage, and when did the entrepreneur in you take over?
Sure, it actually didn't start in Padua in Italy. It started in Versailles in France. I had a strong passion for cosmetics and perfumery. So I did my master's in cosmetics and perfumery in France, then moved to Italy. Thought L'Oreal was my dream company to ever work at and retire. I really thought I was going to retire there. Dream job, my first internship was there, moved ahead. My first job was at Armani, Ralph Lauren and Diesel perfumes. I thought I'd made it, this was great. But then I realized, luxury is great, but international brands are controlled internationally. In India, you just execute. And I realized that was stifling, creativity and freedom. Moved a lot in L'Oreal and, moved then to Beardo, got to experience a startup kind of a world. And there we went across all categories of personal care, including perfumes. We launched so many perfumes. I think we became one of the largest perfume brands in the country. So got to live that dream out a little. And then I didn't know what to do next. I was very clear, can't go back to corporate after experiencing that startup rush. And I think that's when this little, that bug bit, this entrepreneurship bug, saying that what if you do something of your own? And started exploring, various options. And somehow, this is all complete fluke, we landed here at jewelry. Yeah. And today it's now become a thing and never.
Did anyone ever try to talk you out of becoming an entrepreneur and leaving corporate life?
Oh, yeah. So I'm married with 2 kids, right? So immediately there is, stability and all of these big questions that need to be answered. Yeah. My family does not come from a classic, entrepreneurship or business mindset, right? I have 2 brothers, one's a lawyer, one's in the stock market, very classic, traditional. So this was the first one in the family who's going to now leave everything and chase something, unheard of. So they were not everyone in the family was a little apprehensive. Yeah. A lot of friends were as well, but I actually had 1 or 2 people, I call them the nudger. And I think every aspiring entrepreneur should have a nudger in their life who's been through this journey and is the one to push you. If that 1 or 2 people, and one person in particular, if he wasn't there, I would have reached that cliff, but never would have jumped. But he really pushed and got me to jump. This is the founder of Rene Cosmetics. His name is Ashutosh Balani. He really sat me down so many times. He once came below my house and had this chat with me. And I think kind of pushed me over the edge. When so many people pulling me back, you need that nudger.
Everyone needs that nudger, I guess.
You need that nudger because you're questioning so many things. And I had been working for maybe 15 odd years in this corporate race. To then leave it on chase something very different. The industry also, which was different. That was scary at the time, right? So
focusing on industry, like, you could have picked anything, right? Grooming, like Beardo, beauty, something adjacent to what you already know. Why jewelry? And specifically, why lab-grown diamonds? It's a category fighting against, like we discussed, right, before, a century-old tradition, fighting against gold, fighting against the idea that, diamond has to be real to mean something. What made you choose lab-grown or like diamond jewelry as the brand?
So this goes back a bit. I proposed to my wife when I was an intern.
Okay.
20,000 rupee stipend, and all I could afford was a 40,000 rupee ring. We got like this really tiny ring, diamond ring at that time, and she's been after my life, and it's been over 15 years now. That hey, you got to get me a solitaire at some point in life.
Yeah.
So about 4-5 years ago, I thought of, okay, come on, let's finally do that. So we started looking at diamonds, and that's when I met my co-founder. We were just chit-chatting, and he comes from the industry, so he has some understanding. And he said, "Diamond आप मुझसे ले लो, ring आप कहीं से भी बनवा लो." And I said, "Okay, interesting." And then he was explaining about lab grown and all of this to me. And I remember we had put 5 lakhs aside, thinking that's how much it's going to cost for a 1 carat or something, or 2 carat. We had no idea. And finally, we went looking at all these stores. We experienced the whole shopping experience there.
Yeah.
And that obviously, had some sparks flying that there's a gap.
Yeah.
Finally, my wife bought a 2 carat solitaire and returned about 3.5 lakhs to me. And she didn't do it to save my money. She did it because she's pro sustainability. That was her reason. But I was wondering here, she just saved me a lot of money, got a bigger stone.
Yeah.
This is going to become a man's best friend very soon, and really, this is a massive opportunity. So then I started looking around, and I realized all my rich friends are jewelers. Spoke to all of them. They all said, do not enter this industry, and everyone was in denial, I realized. So I met my co-founder again. We said, listen, this is a massive opportunity. Modi ji gifted her 7.5 carat lab grown at that time to Jill Biden, and the whole industry was waking up. We said that, should we, just experiment a little bit?
Yeah.
And here was a really interesting experiment. We took a brand live, took an Instagram handle live, website live in a matter of a few weeks. We found an influencer who had posted something on lab grown. We paid her, I think, 20,000 rupees, and we ran ads worth 10,000 rupees. And we finally closed revenue of about 5 lakhs. Now suddenly, when you're an FMCG and you try and hit a ROAS of 2, 2.5, 3, and I couldn't even calculate this ROAS. What the hell just happened? So the opportunity was huge. And someone, managed to tell us, listen, you just pulled off all of this very quickly in 2-3 weeks. So there's an execution capability online that we possibly realized we had that most jewelers may not have had.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of an opportunity and a moat. And we dropped everything, and then both of us just then dove in. So it's just happened. It was such a weird sequence of events. Buying a ring for my wife, to suddenly experiencing and seeing a gap, to meeting my co-founder who is, my opposite in so many ways, to now.
I mean, it goes back to say, right, like the best ideas or the best businesses are what take something which is complicated and accepted as the norm, and then bends it over and changes things. Uber, for example, or Zomato, for example, like, just taking something which shouldn't be a problem, but is a problem, very real problem for everyone, and just flips it over the head, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every jewelry brand in India is doing the same thing, right? Soft lighting, beautiful people, aspirational lifestyle shots. And then there's True Diamond. And, honestly, this is how I actually first found you, I guess, as well. I was going through Instagram and one of your skits popped up, and then I went down a True Diamond rabbit hole. So I think you're doing something right. Delusional skills, a fictional eccentric jeweler, humor that genuinely pushes the boundary. What was the actual insight? Like the specific moment that you decided that you weren't going to go through what every other jewelry brand in India is doing. You're just going to create your own sort of moat.
When we launched, all we had to do was sell lab grown as a concept.
Yeah.
Then very quickly, so fast that I was shocked, we realized that the barrier to entry here is now low. And traditionally, barrier to entry is capital, because you need a lot of money to enter the business. But with lab grown, the barrier to entry suddenly dropped.
Absolutely.
So everyone started to become a jeweler, and then there was no differentiation. And exactly what you said is what we realized, that every single brand And this is what I experienced when I went, jewelry shopping as well. All these brands, they advertise the same way, right? They have a beautiful model doing this, doing this. They use these words, okay? We did a word cloud. The word timeless and elegance is used everywhere in every ad, and it's such a big word in that word cloud. We, in fact, said, you know what, going ahead, we're going to just completely remove these words from our palette, from our website, everywhere. So we never want to be timeless and elegant and made with love and all of that. And then we started experimenting. We started saying, okay, now how do we differentiate? Now, if you think about how big jewelers became big, we really try to deep dive. If you put all of these jewelers in front and someone asked me that what's the difference between jeweler A versus B, it's a little vague.
Okay.
If I remove Tata from Tanishq, okay, just let's remove Tanishq for a minute. You put all of the other ones, there, and what is the difference? And I've asked so many experienced jewelers, the answer is still vague. I'm a marketer, so I'm thinking, what is a clean differentiation and positioning? These guys built brands by owning a certain community in the early days, and then they grew with time, and today they are legacy brands. So today the moat is, legacy. Of course, trust is now,
and trust
trust was a point of differentiation earlier. Today, trust is table stakes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So they built it on your community and now legacy. Today, you can't build a brand based on community. I think modern consumers are, it's just not, I can't, open a shop in Maharashtra and just have only Maharashtrian speaking staff, and that's the reason they'll come to me. No, that's a small thing now.
Yeah. And that limits your business growth, right? Like, you're not a Maharashtrian company. You might be born out of Maharashtra.
Sure, but that's how all these brands, they owned a certain community. They made sure that they cater to that community, and then they expand to that community in other cities, and then now they become big, right? That's how these brands got built. And Carrot Lane came in and did something slightly different with modern wear jewelry, with daily wear jewelry, and they did something different. So we really asked ourselves, what can we do? And exactly what you said, attention is scarce. The challenge is to capture attention. We actually wondered, and we said, hey, what if we become a media house that sells jewelry? Instead of thinking of it the other way around. And let's experiment. And we started experimenting with lots of formats. This was one of those experiments that finally worked.
Do you, just going back to what you just said, a media house that sells jewelry, do you feel like if you had chosen a different product category, because, when we were talking, I thought a lot of the parallel real estate world, right? And it's very similar actually, because see, we as a company, Satva, we work in a 2 to 7 crore price bracket. That's where most of our products lie. And now there's quite a few people in that price bracket, and the product you're able to create for the customer is actually, at the end of the day, a result of the location, where you get the land and what you're able to sell it at, because you're not going to build something that you sell at a loss. So how do you differentiate? And that becomes a big question. So even in your example, like, do you feel, but the one thing is, I think about media house as a real estate company, for example. Real estate's a very big ticket item, and so is jewelry. So do you ever feel like if you were in a product category which was a little bit more low stakes as a purchase, it would be easier to sell, or this strategy of being, media forward has actually worked for you?
No, if we were selling smaller items, this media strategy would work even better. Because the journey then is, I've captured attention, I've piqued curiosity, I might go online. If I like what I'm seeing online, I might immediately buy. The journey gets completed in a quick time frame. With high value items, it's not. It's, in our case, it's anywhere between 15 days to 2 months before a purchase is actually happened, right? So if we were selling something of lower value, it would be even better. But that said, the challenge is still consistent, whether you're selling a smaller item or a big item, is mind share, right? And that's not easy, and attention is the largest, challenge. I mean, we are not chasing reach anymore. We are chasing reasons to be remembered. We are not chasing impressions, we are chasing distinctiveness per impression. That's very hard to crack, and in any whichever category industry you're in.
It's like leads, qualified leads to convert, like, site visits and then conversion. So like, I can imagine. The top of the funnel still remains the same. How do you
how do you get people, get people in? And there are different ways to then, drive people in. You do what maybe most people will do, maybe in your case, showcase beautiful homes and all of that. But everyone's doing that, unless you have some serious novelty in
But
if you could show it in a more interesting way,
That's
I mean, you know what? Earlier we used to think product out.
Yeah.
Now we had evolved that to think, consumer first or people first, and all the content is also, it's people first. What is a consumer doing in her life? The same consumer is going to buy a jewelry, is watching a finance piece of content, is watching a fitness piece of content, is following some celebrity, is also consuming a lot of memes.
Yeah.
This is the world, right? So instead of thinking jewelry, we actually think that's what's happening in the world. Can we have small, be part of various contexts in her world, and then the jewelry will automatically flow.
Fair enough. That's actually pretty smart. And, I actually want to pick on this, and I have a follow-up question because of that. You said, what was the thing that made these big jewelry brands big? In your context, I'd frame it a different way. What was the most uncomfortable piece of content, I would say, in the initial days that really kicked off the whole sort of, journey? Like, which you shot while shooting, probably thought is this way too out there, but actually paid off in...
Well, the first season that we shot, I remember we did some bold stuff. There was a scene where I'm supposed to strip on camera.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a pink fur jacket.
Yeah.
And I remember it was the first time I'm ever coming in front of the camera, and I'm thinking what my parents are going to think, what are my kids going to say, and all of this was on my head. We did it, and then I thought, I've done so much now. This content should work.
Yeah.
That content failed.
Yeah.
It failed. It's done.
Yeah.
The content that worked actually happened 3 seasons later.
Okay.
The first 2 seasons, we put in a lot of effort. It didn't fire as well as, we would have all imagined or hoped for.
Yeah.
My co-founder, I remember telling me, "Bhai, ye kya karke aa rahe ho? Yaar, ye sab band kar lo. Why are you spending and wasting our money on this time pass?"
Yeah.
Third season, 1 or 2 reels fired. We had this one reel where we had a Delhi man walk into the store.
Yeah.
It was stereotypical, comes in with few buttons open and all that.
Like proper sketch.
Proper sketch.
Yeah.
And that one traveled.
Yeah.
And that traveled quite quickly, quite well. And then suddenly all the DMs started coming in, and my co-founders were saying, "Hey, this is sahi hai, it was more." All that happened. But that was the one that actually took it off, I think. This Delhi sketch. Yeah. And then I think Instagram started liking us. We massaged the algorithm a little well.
You ever get any death threats or anything else?
No. Touch wood, no. We did post. We did one risky move, which brands should never do, but we still did it. I knew this, which was we posted one reel on politics and religion. The 2 topics one should never touch.
I agree.
But we did post that, and we had a few versions of that. And I remember speaking to this one mentor of mine. I said, "Bhai, I'm taking this live." He's like, "But don't do it. Don't do it. Just do not do it."
Yeah.
But we took it live.
Yeah.
We took it live, and we took it live in trials, trial reels, just to see if what exactly happens. Yeah. Because then even if a consumer sees it and they don't like it, they can't find that reel again. So it's a little safe. Yeah. Yeah. So we took 5 versions of that reel live in trials. Yeah. One of the versions got us some, not death threats, but tagging the who's who and,
How could you say this?
Yes.
Who are you?
All of that happened. So immediately then we knew what we had to do. We just posted the one which was the safest.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it was a funny piece of content where a politician enters a 2-diamond store. And
I think I've seen that one.
Seen that one.
Okay, now let's get to Zirak. Zirak is described on your own website as a delusional, often inappropriate, and eccentric person.
That's on the website?
Yeah.
On the website?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's a very deliberate character choice for a luxury brand. Where does he actually come from, and how much of him is genuinely you?
Okay, so credit goes to the writers here.
Yeah.
And how this whole series has evolved. There was one meeting a year and a half ago. At that time in marketing was just me and one 18, 19-year-old girl. She was an intern at the time. And we decided to meet with these 2 young boys on the other side, who sit out of Calcutta. They saw us, they saw the banter, and they saw the camaraderie and all of that. And then they said, "Hey, we got to create content with a jeweler and his apprentice taking on the world." And we thought, okay, yeah, sure, why not? It makes sense, it fits all the buckets that we were trying. The name Zirak came from them.
Okay. What is it? Like, is that a common name? I've never even heard of
It's
it.
a Parsi name, yeah.
Okay.
So there's an actual very famous child psychiatrist. His name is Zirak Master, I think.
Okay.
He messaged me. He's like, bro, you've been using my name everywhere.
I need a royalty.
I said, yeah, I'm making you famous. You're the OG. But no, the name is just, I mean, hey, Sosha is such a odd name, right?
Yes.
Yeah, people, half the people today also cannot spell it. It's such a,
just assume,
it's a very, it's a, I remember when you write it, people are like, what is it, sour say? Siaur? What is, yeah. But why not? Like, it's just weird. I mean, and I'm Farsi, so Zirak works, it flows in. Kelly is Catholic, so Sosha, it's just, flowed. And then these characters were created. And we wanted them to be also maybe very different than what we possibly really are.
Yeah, that's what my next question would be, is there something that Zirak would say which, Darayus would never use in a boardroom?
Yeah, so in so many ways, Zirak is maybe me without adult supervision to a large extent.
Unhinged.
Yeah, very unhinged, unfiltered. That's the character. But you know what? This very rarely do you sometimes find a beautiful partnership that we did with these writers. It's funny because after that first meeting, it felt like we were just friends for a very long time. They knew us in and out. They knew me in and out. They started coming up with ideas which I swear were like so me and who I was. And one of the series was, Zirak's evil twin brother walks in.
Yeah.
And I have two brothers, and we have banter like this all the time.
Are they twins? No.
They're ugly. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But so for some reason we all just connected, and now we've been working as a close family. But they get all the credit for the character, for the character sketch. I just get to live vicariously through Zirak.
I mean, that's exciting and also quite scary and nerve-wracking in a lot of ways, I would assume.
Yeah, but it's good we gave it a new... otherwise, it was going to be Founder, right? And with the kind of weird stuff Zirak does, and Zirak is, I mean, you use some words. I mean, Zirak is narcissistic. He's perpetually horny. He's single. He hits on his apprentice's mum. It is,
everyone.
It's one of those weird... And
the characters evolved, right?
Characters also evolved quite a bit. But this stuff is not something that I can do. I have two kids at home who... So this is why we have Zirak.
We can bleep this out.
We have Zirak to do it all the nasty, naughty stuff.
So your unhinged alter ego. Going back to the question, actually, it's nice that you mentioned Kelly, Sasha, your co-actor in your co-conspirator in all these skits. I think, one of the things that founders are not asked enough is, your co-founders also become a face of the brand. Like when I see the content, before I knew you, I honestly thought it was like you guys are married and you guys have started this together. Okay. And I'm sure a lot of people would assume that. Audiences recognize her, follow her on, follow the chemistry, the dynamic. What happens suddenly if one day, and she's not part of the company, right? Like she's not an employee. So what happens if one day, she just decides to move on and, maybe do something else with her life? Do you ever feel like that's a risk?
Well, this is not her core thing to do. So she is actually a singer by profession. She's a very successful singer. She has a massive band. They tour the country. They tour the world, actually. But this is the one thing I think she likes us as much as we like her.
Okay.
We love working together. It's been smooth all this while.
Yeah.
I think it's gone beyond a professional relationship already. It's it's a strong relationship. So I don't see a risk. We will also always allow her to prioritize what comes first for her, which is her music.
Yeah.
And we sometimes work around her schedule there.
Yeah.
Do we risk her going out and say doing something with another jewelry brand? I don't think so, because I think it's to a large extent she is a part of True Diamond. True Diamond is now officially also become a part of her. People recognize her as a diamond girl.
Yeah, she is.
From the brand. So I think that identity is, works both ways. So I would hope and trust that, the relationship is strong enough that she will not do.
Yeah.
But if she chooses to have other, I don't know, plans, and therefore not available to True Diamond, I don't know. We'll figure. We will have a new character who might pop up. I don't know. But so far, yeah, we are tight. So we hope to keep it that way.
One of the things I touched upon earlier, when it's like founder-led brand and like founder-led content build brand, do you ever feel like the individual overshadows the brand? Like, say people follow True Diamond because of Zirak and because of the whole ecosystem and because of you. Because of like that dynamic that you've created. What happens to the brand if you, Darayus, decide that after 5 years you want to do something else? Is True Diamond like bigger than you yet? Or is it still fundamentally you? And is that in the larger scheme of things, is that a problem or is that like a superpower?
Yeah, I'd be foolish to think that I represent the brand and the brand is me.
Yeah.
It's not. What people get to see is, top of the funnel fun content. But the brand and what actually it's built on is built on so much more that people don't get to see. Or people middle and lower in the funnel get to experience.
Yeah.
They know about it. And that's not me, right? So I think I have a very small role yet in this. There's so much more. The experience that one has at the store, for example, is very different. And that's what actually sells. The way the team is trained sells. The way the products are is very unique. It's different. So that is actually what finally has built the brand. What has created some level of attention out there, I may have a role in that. But even that's still too tiny. We've not crossed that bridge yet. If I were a celebrity and I launched a brand, it's different. Maybe, I don't know, for example, Kusha's launched Underneath. Maybe that is very tight. Or maybe Parul Gulati has launched her brand Niche. So, that's completely led on the founder. No, not here. Here, True Diamond, and True Diamond has one character named Zirak, and that's about it.
I actually want to dive into a little bit of what you said. First, like, in the products like Underneath and like say hair, it's like specific hair. Do you feel like, when it comes to jewelry, like the elements of the product, which is gold, diamonds and stuff, you can source from outside. What is that USP that you are able to create as a product? Of course, Zirak's able to attract attention. What is that USP that makes people stick? And second is, when we look at the page, it's largely these skits and content, like the attention, to attract attention. But we don't ever see the process of what actually happens when you come to the store. So would love to hear like about that, like a breakdown of what happens, what does the customer journey look like when they come to a True Diamond store?
So firstly, all of this content that we create is just to get people into the funnel.
Top of funnel.
Just top of funnel, right? Then we run ads. We never run any ad on the kind of content that you see. The kind of content that is being run as ads is a whole different universe. And that's product out. And when it comes to product, we actually focus on a lot of innovations. There are products that we launched a Portuguese cut diamond. It's got
I've seen that, like,
3 times more facets than a regular diamond. And now other brands have tried to launch it. We have various unique diamond shapes, like a Batman shaped diamond to a Kashi. We've been able to take out the shadow in an oval diamond. We've been able to remove the shadow there. So a lot of product innovations. That's what we start using in media. Then we try and get the customer to the store, and that's where the actual magic happens. So our experience is not like any other jewelry brand. In normal jewelry brand, you enter, they start showing you stock. Sir, aapko kya chahiye, aap batao, etc. In our
You're
case,
sitting across the table.
Across the table. In our case, you cannot see stock for the first 15, 20 minutes that you've entered the store. So we only deal by appointment. Now, when you enter the store, the first thing you do is a big live screen. We ask you a few questions, including your preferred music genre. I'll tell you why. Then there's a massive hand scanner. This is something that we've developed from scratch. We call maybe the world's first. You put your hand inside the scanner and it will measure your knuckle to finger ratios to palm ratios and various analysis and your skin tone. And it will suggest the right solitaire shapes that go if you have long fingers or pudgy fingers, etc. And based on your skin tone, it will also suggest the right gold color that would complement it. So this is done through lots of data, and that's a recommendation that comes to the first step. Then we take you to the diamond education section. We deep dive into the 4 C's. This is not just telling it to you. This is a massive, really live screen, which is a touch and feel. You can see how light interacts with different aspects of a diamond. How does a cut change the light performance? How does clarity? How does color change, light performance? And what gives you the best sparkle? We show this to you visually, and your customer can touch and play, and you can play with it.
So it's like almost like a 3D.
Yeah. And we've created this from scratch, right? So the simulator has been created, and you can you press a button, and you will see the light going through. And you can shut the light off to it and move the diamond around, and you can play with it, right? So it's quite interactive. Then we take you to the first main station, which is all about diamond shapes. And we immerse you into not just the most classic 12 shapes that exist and various sizes, but we actually introduce you to about 12 new shapes that we believe the country has not really seen before. Like I was saying, a Batman-shaped diamond or a crown-shaped diamond, and this various fun
And you get
shapes.
customers for this?
They don't even know it exists.
Okay.
Right? So this is showing what kind of stuff, and we're true diamond, right? So we're going to go deep when it comes to a diamond. After you see various diamond shapes, we'll take you to diamond colors. You'll experience colors. People don't even know that black diamonds exist. I'm wearing a ring which has black diamonds and various colors of diamonds. Then we take you to the next station on the 3 innovations that we have, like I was talking to, the Portuguese cut or a shadowless diamond. And you really get to see that in a big magnifying glass. And again, it's a bit of an experiential, immersive thing. That's all about the diamond. Now we have 2 more stations left. First station is on now the band. We're a rings specialist. So when it comes to the band, we don't want just a simple white, yellow, rose gold. We offer you champagne gold. You can get black colored gold. And what about the finish? People are used to gold, gloss and matte. Can give you about 11 different finishes today. There's a Florentine finish, sandblasted finish. There's an ice finish. The finishes people have never heard of or seen. These are very hard to execute in the country, but we've been able to, after lots of R&D, able to crack them. So when you just move your hand across the band, you'll feel a very different finish. And then the last station is on personalization. And this is beyond engraving. You can actually put your fingerprint onto the ring. You can put hidden birthstones. You can put some side charms, neck charms. You can put initials into the setting of the band. We show you various forms of personalization, and that's what really makes that ring special, right?
100%.
Now, we take you through all of this, and then we start to show you stock. And by then, this is almost like an immersive build your own ring, bar. And then we start showing you unlimited number of, ring designs. And, we've chosen to only specialize in one category. Rings is our...
But why rings? That was another question I wanted to ask. Why have you chosen rings out of all the others?
Rings is actually one of the largest jewelry categories in India.
Okay.
And one of the most
break that down for me? Like if you had to split them in categories.
So we're going to talk about just diamond jewelry. I'm going to ignore gold because gold is a whole different market.
I agree.
So, rings is possibly about 50% of the business. For most jewelers, especially most lab-grown jewelers. And then comes, earrings, which will be about 30%. Then pendants and others will come down. So it's anyway a large category. And it's an emotional one. And that's when people love exploring solitaires. And still, there is no legacy player that owns this space. When you ask anyone, what is the one rings brand that comes to mind? Some people say Tiffany. But that's it. There is no Tiffany for India. And we think we can, and we've seen Tiffany, and with all due respect, we think we can build a better brand than Tiffany and have better products than what they have. And we've seen it, we've been able to execute. So we thought, what if we actually create a brand that's hyper-focused on one category, but then own it? So anyone thinking of buying a ring anytime, they must remember that, okay, let me at least visit that True Diamond store and check it out once. And we know once they enter and the experience that we give them, then, we have a very high conversion rate.
I've seen this experience, like since you brought up Tiffany, there's sometimes you see products there, right? Like, which looks so simple, which are priced like, $5,000, $6,000 for like a band or like a bracelet or something. And, I've heard this conversation in like my house itself where my mom's like, you can get that made for like half the price in India. Do you ever feel like that's a conversation that comes around some of the time when you're dealing with customers? And how do you what is that differentiator, you would say? Of course, like you told me, like the whole process is very differentiated and everything. But at the end of the day, if someone's picking a simple ring with a simple solitaire cut, like where does the differentiation then lie?
Yeah, that's a great question, right? So that's where these innovations come in. So someone wants a classic, simple solitaire ring, plain band, simple setting, and a round solitaire.
Yeah.
That's where the Portuguese comes in. Portuguese cut comes in. So we're saying, hey, everything is a similar.
And are you guys the only ones that do it? Yeah?
No. Now we've had others who've tried to do it.
Yeah.
I think we're the only ones who do it with the right faceting.
Yeah.
So because it's got 3 times more faceting, people with just multiple faceting, they start calling it a Portuguese cut.
Yeah.
But it's very poor cuts inside and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can visually see a beautiful cut versus a poor cut.
Yeah.
That's very visual.
Yeah.
That's where we've been, winning and converting, despite our price being, fairly high.
Yeah.
But that's the advantage. And everyone's used to say a regular round solitaire. Portuguese cut is what gives at the edge.
Yeah, for sure.
An oval diamond, all oval diamonds in the world have had a flaw, actually. The center part of an oval diamond has this shadow, and that's called a bow tie. It exists in all elongated shapes. We've tried very hard, and after lots of research on various cutting techniques, we've now managed to eradicate that bow tie.
Okay.
So we've called this a shadowless oval. So again, if anyone wants a simple solitaire but an oval shape, we actually tell them this is great, but have you noticed the bow tie?
Yeah.
And once you see that bow tie, you're never going to unsee it. Okay, it's going to stay.
Yeah,
it's going to stay.
Yeah.
And we're one of the few people that have been able to now, remove that bow tie.
Yeah.
And so that's the value, right? So
Yeah.
then you really get to get a superior solitaire.
Yeah.
Even if it's in a relatively simpler setting, you still have something of value.
Yeah, fair enough. That was actually quite illustrious, and I have to say, like, I really want to come to the store one day and go through this process. Yeah, maybe my hand's too big for the machine, but we'll try it out. Speaking of AI, do you see that help in your content journey or in your brand building, or especially in something so physical like jewelry? Where does AI play a role, or does it at all?
Yeah, it plays a significant role. What it does not do is it cannot play the role of people in skits. We've tried that; it does not. The minute you see that, you switch off.
Yeah.
So we try and limit the use of people when we are leveraging AI. But for a lot of other work, right, it's really helped us. Our ability to get a lot of photography done and beautiful visuals for our products. All of that is really helped.
Okay.
And when we then go a little bit more creative, we needed a shot of a monkey humping a guy's leg.
I've seen that one.
Yeah,
I've seen that one. I've seen that one. Yeah.
So we can.
That was the guy. Yeah, of course.
So that's where when you have these weird,
Yeah.
I don't know, we want Lana Del Rey playing a song on the moon, and that's our inspiration. That's where AI comes in, right?
Yeah.
So the creative, unhinged thoughts, we use it a lot for.
Fair enough.
And a lot of product work.
Yeah.
But never for humans yet.
Yeah. What do you think, at least in what you've seen in the last 2 years of your journey, is one aspect which you think AI cannot replace in this whole thing? Of course, the human centricity.
It's relatability.
Yeah.
So it's this one. In fact, we've debated this a lot, and when you're trying to create content that is supposed to be relatable,
Yeah.
and you leverage AI, it doesn't work, because and you can make out it, and you don't mind if it's AI.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to create a piece of content which is supposed to be relatable, then you just cut off. You just switch off. So that's the one area that it's not been able to, and then that's basically like humans in particular. I don't think that's AI has been able to do. Of course, even when it comes to scripting, a lot of people leverage AI today.
Yeah.
We've tried it so much.
Yeah.
It doesn't help. It doesn't work in our case. And despite having fed enough.
That's what I'm saying, because you would have a repository of
We do, right? Yeah. It's very easy to say this. These are character sketches of these characters, come up with content.
Yeah.
No, the
doesn't
beauty is in that little nuance,
Yeah.
which is it has yet not picked up. I think that's still maybe a little bit more of a journey.
Fair enough. Okay, I want to get into this whole Shark Tank situation. But before I ask about what happened, take me back to a little bit about like that journey. One was like when you knew you were gonna be featured, how it felt walking in over there. You've built something real, genuine traction, a community, cultural relevance. What was your emotional state, and like what were you feeling basically, like that whole walkway through to the boardroom as such, you could say, or the presentation room?
So first for Shark Tank's, I think a 3-4 month journey.
Yeah.
You know, we submitted one video of ourselves, then we had to submit a second one, then we had to go live and present against dummy judges, and then finally we get called for the final thing.
Yeah.
Now, once we had been through all of that, and we were called over there, and in our case, it wasn't a regular pitch, it was a match off against another brand.
Yeah.
And we were quite excited with that because we knew that gives you more TRPs, and that's great, and we were excited about that.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think we were confident to an extent that we were cocky.
Okay.
To be fair.
Yeah.
But we went in with, thinking, we were very happy with our pitch. We thought, we've done enough revision and we knew exactly what we wanted to say, and we were confident. So, we thought we were going to hit it out of the park, big. So we went in with that energy.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone will have some jitters.
Yeah.
First time, I think, coming on national television as well. And also for my co-founder, I have possibly been in front of a camera a little bit.
Yeah.
Not for him. He operates behind the scenes completely.
Yeah.
But he was perfect actually in our pitch and all of that. He did it like a seasoned veteran. But yeah, I think we were confident.
So
the point of being cocky, and that is why maybe where everything also.
So what do you think actually went wrong? Like I've seen a little bit of snippets of the episode and I made my notes. So Aman didn't like the designs. Anupam said like, the brand was not what it was. So, I think lab grown jewelry versus like, I think true diamonds. And then of course, Imori was chosen over you. No deal. Like, but when you look back at it, what do you think actually went wrong in the room? Like confidence and cockiness is one thing.
We obviously we have debated and sliced and diced this. What
I'm sure.
the hell happened?
Was there a point where you thought that the room just suddenly turned?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it happened, and we could feel it, right? And you know when a conversation is going well, when it's suddenly not, and it's gotten toxic.
Yeah.
It happened. I think, to be honest, when we think about it more and more, sometimes it's just not your day.
Yeah.
It's just not your day, right? And you think about, could we have avoided certain things? Sure, we could have. But otherwise, what we did, even today, we back some of the stuff that we said, but it just wasn't taken in the right maybe way, and it just wasn't our day that day. I think it just wasn't meant to be. But so many things that we could have done differently. So one of the few, we ended our pitch in a slightly cocky manner by saying, sorry, Sharks, but one of your sharks is already invested in us, because we had Titan Capital, was one of our first investors.
Yeah.
And the questions only went in that direction. Oh, really? Who? How much? Why? When? Versus actually understanding us and our journey and our story. Yeah. And from there itself, the questions, they just went in different ways, and I think we were just not able to recover. Yeah. Once there were some misunderstandings, then suddenly they just seemed to not
click. Yeah. But do you think that in any part of what they said, they were actually, like, if they weren't actually able to see the company, the brand, or do you think that there were some bits which you had to reflect on, and then you
this is great because we actually reflected. What some of the stuff he said was right.
Yeah.
So one of them said that, why are you focusing on lab grown and natural? Yeah. You should be doing, and that's what we said, you should be doing just lab grown. It's the future, and why are you doing both? Yeah. So when we came back, we really, we were like, baat to sahi hai. So maybe that's the growing category, it's not the growing category. Yeah. Why are we doing both? And we really thought hard about it.
Yeah.
And we have investors, right? So they also, most investors will also be like that. They want a very clear positioning of the brand.
No, and like now that you've had time to think about it, what would you want?
So finally we said, what, we finally didn't take our initial thinking. We went back to, we said, what, listen, we've chosen to sacrifice other categories. Fair. So we're not doing earrings, we're going to focus only on rings, right? Yeah. As we continue to scale. So then why are we And then the choice should be the customers. Why are we getting to that battle of which one is better, which one is worse?
Yeah.
Why limit that market?
Yeah.
So we said, no, we want to do both. And
Yeah.
I think when we went in, we weren't ready with the logic strong enough maybe at that time, or
Yeah.
we didn't have enough data to show.
Yeah.
And now we've gone whole hog. We have natural diamonds listed on our website, and everything is.
Yeah.
So now we think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
We're a rings brand. We sell beautiful, jaw-dropping, traffic-stopping, plane crashing rings.
Yeah.
The diamond is an ingredient, and that the customer can choose.
Yeah.
We don't want to get into that debate.
Yeah.
So then we've gone back to what we said on that day, and that's exactly what we're executing. But maybe the way we would have explained it and all of these things could have been better, and all of that. But they didn't agree with some of those.
Yeah, and like you said, once it's hard, right? Like in a conversation also, you see often in life when an impression's made, the conversation tends to track through that impression, and your openness to hearing after that.
No, it's our fault. When you go in with a cocky pitch, you have to be ready for harder questions.
For sure.
And they will come harder at you.
Yeah.
And one or two of these misses in the answering, and then they got you, right? Then they're then the sharks. So that's their job, and that's
fair enough.
So fair. I mean, that's our learning.
But it's nice that you touched upon this question, this thought of natural versus lab grown. What part of your business today would you say is natural and lab grown? First, how is there a way to distinguish? First of all, I know the answer to this, which I've heard is no, but you're in the business, so I'll defer to you on this. So is there a way to distinguish what is the composition, like your customer base, how much of it is natural, how much of it is lab grown? And in all your conversations today with customers who are buying natural diamonds, what is that one thing, or what are those things that still draws them to that product category when they know there's a same product at a cheaper price point available?
Yeah. Well, so firstly, to the naked eye, there is absolutely no difference.
Yeah.
Because chemically, physically, optically, it's identical.
Yeah.
Just the source of where it's coming from is different.
Yeah.
Can you identify through naked eye? No. Can you identify with a 20x magnifier glass? Technically, no.
Yeah.
But every diamond today, most of the certified and all the certified proper diamonds, they have a certificate number that is lasered on the diamond.
Sure.
So therefore, if I have a 20x magnifier, I can read the certificate number.
Yeah.
And that number tells me if it's lab grown or natural.
Sure.
Technically, I know which kind of product it is. So there's no real difference in that sense. Natural diamonds historically have been known to hold their value over time better.
Yeah. That was before lab growns had come into the market.
Like I said, historically, they've been known to hold their value better. Lab grown also has, internationally, from when they launched to what those prices were to today, I mean, the prices have also dropped, right?
A lot.
Today, actually, the prices are fairly stable now.
Fair enough.
But in the last, say, 4 years, there's been a good amount of flux. So those prices have also dropped, right? So which one over a period of time may possibly still hold value better? Truth is, it might still be natural.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a lobby, there's a lot of, stuff going behind making sure the natural diamonds continue to be where they are. And if natural diamonds don't exist, lab grown also will not exist, right? So they actually have to coexist for the health of both sides. So in that sense, it really comes down to a customer's choice. We then try to never get into that, debate of one versus the other. If you really want to know a point of view, we will share our point of view.
Yeah.
And it comes down to this only. There's no actual difference in what you're buying physically, but one has come, after 1 million years of development, and there is a value in a story to an extent, and that's a very personal choice. Some people value that story. Some people, say, nah, I care about my money. So it comes down to that, and then we say whatever the customers want. Today, to be very honest, customers don't get into that debate anymore. I think they know if they've kind of picked a side.
Yeah.
And they either want lab grown or they want a natural.
Yeah.
They don't really go into that much of a debate. So we say whichever one you want, we'll show both to you. You can decide. This is the price. And the key actually in this whole thing is this transparency.
Yeah.
And now we've taken all our prices on the website. So you can see natural diamond prices on the website, lab on the website. And natural diamond prices, they fluctuate, right? Diamond to diamond. All specs looking the same, but prices might differ. Okay, and there are nuances to this. So we put all of that out there for the customer to see openly, and then they can make an informed choice.
Yeah. So, you know, the most interesting thing was like 2 weeks ago, I think I was talking to my mom. We were just having a chat. And, you know, this is a woman like who loves jewelry and diamonds, right? And till 3 years ago, you know, when lab-grown diamonds had just, started coming, you know, she was like, I don't trust these lab-grown. Like, I would still buy natural. But what was very surprising about this 2 weeks ago was she was like, you know, I would not buy diamonds only if, like, why would I go and buy a natural diamond? It doesn't even hold its value. And, you know, I just feel like diamond jewelry is a mix of value versus aesthetic versus actual monetary value. Okay, it's like it's almost like you can say standoff between the two. There's some aesthetic value that you derive or like experience from it. And there's also the monetary value that it holds over a period of time. If it was something which was solely monetary, it would be gold that you buy and not diamond jewelry. So, what is that thing that you see? Like, you know, I could never think of my mom thinking of that, right? Like, but in the people that you see who are still drawn towards natural, like, what is that one thing that still does that for them?
I'll tell you what draws them towards diamonds.
Yeah.
Is that there is no stone on this planet that sparkles like a diamond.
Yeah.
And not only that, no stone that holds its sparkle like a diamond over a period of time. That diamond is forever actually comes from the fact that it's the hardest substance on this planet. Nothing will happen to it no matter what you do.
Yeah.
That there is value in that. There is, undeniable value in that. What drives someone towards natural over lab grown?
Yeah.
I think the fact that there is honestly an origin story.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is come over millions of years, formed over millions of years, that does hold, value.
Yeah.
And then the sense of security that if I'm buying this from a certain brand, even if it is say 10 times more, when I want to go back and exchange or whatever, buy back, I'll still get a decent amount of value.
Yeah.
So that is it. That is what draws them towards natural even today.
Scrolling back now, I think, we got digressed a bit. Sorry about that. There's a version of the Shark Tank story where you go home and spiral, question everything and wonder, if everything was a mistake. And then there's the other version where you reframe almost immediately. What actually happened and how long did you take to come out of it?
Listen, after the episode,
there's some time before it airs, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good 2 months, 3 months before it airs. I think it was shot in October, if I remember, November, and it aired in Jan.
Okay.
No, once we came out,
so you knew.
We knew.
Yeah. And there's no pulling back at that point of time.
Can't pull back. We thought about like, hey man, how do we tell Shark Tank to like never air this or something? Then we like write something to them. We got royally fucked.
Yeah.
But no, it took us a while.
Yeah.
Okay, let be. Mental health was affected.
Yeah.
Okay, we thought, what the hell happened? Because we went in with so much confidence and came out with, with nothing. We thought, what did we like? Full existential crisis and what have we done in life and all of that has happened. It took us a while to constantly think about it. Now we knew that, listen, this is it's about narrative, right? How do we now maybe do the most of when it's going to air, what can we do about it? I mean, so we thought about all the stuff that the shark said against us and we wrote those down and said, he said this, he said that, but ye to galat hai. He said this is wrong. We had this answer. We had all these, answers ready.
Yeah.
So we debated long and hard about it all. And then we had this journey where we said, the truth is that so many brands have not gotten a deal.
Yeah.
And still found ways of growing and all of that.
Yeah.
And most of the brands, and we spoke to them, like, what do you do and all? Like,
you spoke to them?
We spoke to them like, you also didn't, like, you got screwed on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
We also got screwed on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
What did you do us?
Yeah.
So many of them. But then we realized that most of them have obviously tried to refute all of it, right?
Yeah.
The point is that, whatever was the questions that were posed and the answers that we gave, who's right and who's wrong? The truth is, if you ask me, it's debatable.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong. It's a different way of doing something. It's a different point
a
of view.
narrative,
It's a different, this is the way we wanted to do it. You didn't
Yeah.
get it. It's just, there's no right or wrong. Of course, because they're sharks and they build something of value, they're right. Their point of view typically becomes the correct one and ours will not be.
Yeah.
Which is fair, right?
Yeah.
So going around and trying to answer all of that was not something that we thought will do much, or rather, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, nobody cares. This is learning. After that first season of content that we created, we thought we created some great stuff. I very stripped for the camera. I thought, yeah, ab to chalega. And the truth is, who cares, right? Nobody gives a flying F, right?
Yeah. It's a little bit like what you said earlier, no, about like virality, you know, unless you can sustainably, constantly be viral again and again, it's something that's like a blip and it dies down as quick as it.
So we thought, yeah, if we were to come up with content that is refuting all of the points that are said, we thought that nobody's going to give a damn.
Yeah.
And because we don't have a strong role in their lives. Why? We just appeared on Shark Tank as 100 brands on Shark Tank today. So that's when we thought of, what if we like flip it? And after a period of time, we you know, once we coached ourselves also, we realized that, yeah, some of the stuff we were saying is right only. This is exactly how we want to build it, and this is correct only. Yeah, he's not got it, they've not got it, they've not got it. So then the confidence started building again, right? And then at some point we said, yeah, we started laughing at ourselves. That, you know, we fucked up on Shark Tank. We made t-shirts which said we were on Shark Tank, and at the back it said, but we fucked up. Like we did this for ourselves, you know. We started then laughing at ourselves. And then we thought about it, and then we're like, shit, like content. Let's just create content and laugh on ourselves. And if you can laugh at yourselves, then then we were. I mean, we thought that's the best way ahead. And the truth was that Shark Tank is a small part, and it's designed for content and to bring more people in. So let's lean into that instead of trying to, you know, fight it. Let's lean into it and in fact fuel it. Let's more people see it, and then you know, if you can laugh at yourselves, it also gives them, you know, it shows that while it did affect us, not that much. We were okay with it now. We're going to do what we do. Then that's when we went through the whole other route, which you
brilliant route. Would love to hear the thoughts about it. How did, first of all, this idea of Arushi from Emory, like who's basically your competitor, who got it on, so to take that and take such like a, what you can say, like a flop moment and turn that around into one of, I think, your most viral moments on the channel so far.
So during the, you know, we live at the studio for 3 days before it goes live. Okay, they coach you, the team coaches you on how to pitch and all of that. During those 3 days, we spend time with each other. Usually they told us that most two brands always are, you know, away and they don't like talk. We were chit-chatting. I mean, the industry is large enough, so we became friends.
And
on
is she based out of Bombay?
No, she based out of Gurgaon. Her team hadn't come. Her stock had not reached. So there's so many challenges she was facing. We were helping her. We became friends, you know. And even when she won, you know, we were happy that she won because she was genuinely sweet, really sweet, sweet girl.
And like you said, the industry is large enough.
So we actually, I remember after it aired and we knew how screwed we got. We still went out. We went out together. We partied till 5 o'clock. We came home to my house and we, you know, we had a great time. So now we thought of what can we do to refute this. We said we're going to laugh at ourselves. What better way than to actually flip it even further? And she won. So she's the queen. We put, you know, call her the superhero and the superwoman, and we are the ones who she's going to teach because we are fuck all founders. And that was the idea, right? So then she comes in and teaches us how to be real entrepreneurs and how to win sharks. And we thought that would be a fun piece of content, and why not? And we asked her, listen, would you want to shoot? We create some content together. She was also quite willing. She was happy to be part of that, you know, this whole world. She flew down. We shot here in this studio, and that was great.
I think, you know, in the chats that we've had so far, you know, there's two things that I really remember. And, you know, as this journey of content creation we're doing, you know, as a team, there's so much that we resonate to. But the two things that, you know, I would also like to say that, you know, I'm in the process of learning, and sometimes you think about it, sometimes you forget it, but is that, you know, one thing that you said yesterday when we spoke was this golden rule that don't sit on an idea for too long, execute, move on to the next, you know. And the second is, like you said, when you shot first season, you were like so attached to it. You thought like, मैंने strip किया, अभी इससे ज़्यादा क्या करूँ? And you get so attached to pieces of content which you think that this is the best thing that I've ever made. This should go viral, and it gets like 1,000 views or 10,000 views, and things that you think that would never go anywhere, and they just suddenly. So I really, it's just so fun to listen to this while, you're talking about it, because I'm like, which stage are we in?
People think that we've cracked some content game.
Yeah.
The truth is that we still have zero idea if a certain content is going to perform or not. We have zero idea. We bet every time on a certain post how many views it will get.
Yeah.
We always lose. Very, very rarely are we able to be consistent on that. And I think we should just forget trying to guess. Yeah, and just keep trying. Like we said, you have an idea, just try and pull it off, and then you say, it works, doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Move on.
The reality is people don't care.
Yeah.
So
there's so much out there.
So much. So they don't care. And if you're going to make a fool of yourself, they don't. They won't matter.
Yeah.
You just move on to the next. But the one that actually that also leads me to one maybe advice. I think what we realize has worked in our case is there is some consistency. In our case, it's become the characters that they see again and again. That connects to the brand. Before this, we used to try and come up with various pieces of content that we wanted each one to go viral. Even if one did, the second or third one is not connected to that one, right? So then they're independent, like building blocks that are being made in a consumer's mind, which does not help the brand.
It never connects.
Never connects. So here, what's actually worked is maybe the faces, or maybe the context of it being set in a jewelry store or something like that. That consistent, thing has created a reason to be remembered.
Fair enough. And I think
big one.
The storytelling that seeps through each piece of content.
And that could be different also. We've had like weird, when we ideate, we go from, can we come up with relatable characters? What a consumer might actually be going through when they enter a jewelry store, and I don't know, mother-in-law and daughter coming to buy jewelry, and the son is really flummoxed between them. Or do we come up with unhinged, weird, mad people? Like we had an alien who entered the store, or we had Santa Claus and the Grinch, coming in as a couple. Mrs. Claus, Mrs. Claus and the Grinch became a couple. Weird content pieces like that. But they all tie in because there's that consistency of, say, the store setting, coming to buy a ring, and maybe Zirak search. That actually has been really free.
That's true. That's true. You can have any kind of storytelling.
You can have anything. You can go wild and then
you go to space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair enough.
We had Gandalf the Gay. And I don't know, people, we love this piece of content. Gandalf the Gay came to Bombay, came to Mumbai and Andheri to buy a ring because
it plays off a lot of the rings, like it's so crazy.
Yeah, because the ring of power has now been taken by Ori. Because he wields the power. And what content we feel, such weird stuff. But it finally comes together with just this world of Zirak and Sarsha, and that works.
So you built this with Pareen Shah, who's your co-founder. Co-founder relationships are one of the most underrated complexities in any business. How do you two actually work? What does Pareen hold that you don't? And have you two ever genuinely disagreed on something big enough that could have possibly broken things?
So, what is really good in our case is that our personalities are opposite. It's very tangible. He will be dressed in grey and black every day. I do not own a black shirt. I never wear a black pant or a black shirt ever.
My mom would be very happy to hear that.
See, you're wearing, So you'll see it in the personality. We're very, very different. And our roles are also clearly divided. Right? He'll manage everything from all of the backend, from ops, finance, all of that is his. Brand building and stuff is mine. And on business and strat, we usually are always working together. Hey, we fight, man. We fight. We have disagreements. But I think the one thing that is consistent is that we both have, I think, is respect. And I think even if we are disagreeing on something, when we are talking, it's clearly on a topic. And that's the right thing to do, right? You don't want people to just agree. You want to arrive at the right decision.
Fair enough.
So those debates are actually good, always good. Sometimes, we'll be irritated at each other. I know he's irritated with me. He may not even want to say it.
Yeah.
But at least when we're talking of the topic, there is that level of respect which is not ever crossed.
Yeah.
And eventually, if it's, say, a domain which is related to mine, he'll have a strong point of view.
Yeah. And what are the domains?
So anything to do with brand
Yeah.
or the customer experience and the way we are building, all of this is mine.
Sure.
Everything to do with the operation, the manufacturing, and putting it all together.
There's a background in it as well, right?
Yeah, it's Diamond, customer Diamond family.
And has he moved fully into this business? Or
Yeah, 100%. He's a VC guy before,
Okay.
venture capitalist, and then worked in the founder's office before, and now this is full time, of course. But he understands, he's very good with all, actually, in fact, he's great with all the stuff I do not enjoy.
Let's delve into mental health a little bit now. Building a brand where every piece of content requires your face to be on it. When a failure happens, it's in public. When a success happens, it's in public. Do you feel like there's a certain kind of pressure you face? And what is the mental reality of what is actually not the Shark Tank moment specifically, but through the journey? Because, creating content, you say, it's a numbers game, you say not to get attached, but because it's hardcore work, teams coming together, it's creative in a sense, you spend so long, you do tend to get attached, right?
First of all, and I tell this to people, whoever sold this entrepreneurship dream to me, they bloody lied. The sleepless nights are very real.
Yeah.
I did not expect it to be so real. Okay, so all of that is there, right? And when things are not going your way, which is, I've also realized in running a business, is sometimes feels like 95% of the time.
Yeah.
They just don't feel like they're going your way, right?
Yeah. You're always firefighting.
Always. And you think it can't get worse, but it always gets worse. So now I've realized, whatever stage you're in, the one thing I tell myself is, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
Because it very easily can, right?
Yeah.
So I think firstly, it's been the emotional roller coaster was maybe I was not prepared for.
Yeah.
And I say it in the small ways, right? You may have a business which is down and investors may be talking to you and pressurizing you. Maybe you have your key employees who suddenly left and maybe taken something and gone, and you have all these heated discussions going on, and then you come out after that really intense meeting and someone is like, hey, can we cut a cake because it's Women's Day?
Yeah.
And your mind is not working there.
Yeah.
And you said, and it's listen, all respect to women, but
right now.
But okay, let's do it. And that emotional balancing is a thing. It's tough. I think maybe become a little.
It's also a very customer-facing job, right? So you might have a building falling in the background, but how do you show up with the same energy to a customer who's walked in for the first time?
Yeah. So it's been tough, but I think for me, how I manage, and we've been through some really tough times. Shark Tank you think was tough. Our Instagram account, which is everything for us that we built today, got pulled down 3 days after Shark Tank airing.
Okay.
It got pulled down, and that's when we had all the content with Emery and all ready. So Emery's thing was a 4-part episode, a 4-episode series. We posted episode 1.
Yeah.
It went viral. Yeah. And Shark Tank went live on Friday. So we were getting all the traction, all the buzz. And on Sunday, I get a call at 1:30.
Did you post it before it aired or after it aired?
No. After. We obviously, because we were ready with our content. We knew it was going to happen.
Correct.
So it went live. And the first piece of content was us being delulu about having done a great job on all piece of content. And Sunday, 1 o'clock in the morning, I get a call saying, listen, the Instagram account is gone. And it's been deactivated. So we freaked out, right, of course. And that's when I thought, man, it can't get worse. We prepared a rebuttal and all of this. It was gone for a week.
Oh, no.
Okay, so it took us a lot to
Did you find out why?
No, I think we thought it was Sony and we thought Shark Tank because maybe we had posted something, but it wasn't them. So finally, through someone, they told us that we've been targeted and this happens, and truth is we don't really know why.
Okay.
Finally, we got it back. And when you get it back, by the way, you don't have the same reach. So Instagram suppresses your reach. Okay. So episode 2, 3, 4, which was where she actually walks in and all of that, was posted after it came back, which which is about 10 days after the thing has aired.
Yeah.
So all of this mental health, the shit you have to deal with.
What's your coping mechanism? You subscribe to any of the
Yeah, I was telling,
yeah.
I was telling my wife this, because when you have really tough times, how do you get yourself to be happy and still go to work?
Yeah.
I have two things. One, I play basketball, so that's my one outlet, and that I'm serious about that. But number two, I told her something the other day, which is very interesting, and I told her that I feel I have already won in life. So this is like a, this is one extra thing. And I actually did feel that way because, what is luxury? People say luxury is health, having money and all that. No.
Yeah.
Luxury is your kids being able to spend time with healthy grandparents.
Yeah.
That is luxury, and actually it's so underrated. And if you think about it, I mean, you have two beautiful kids growing up amazingly. I'm so proud of them. Everything at home is so good. I have my family just 10 minutes away. My brothers who are around. It's just actually, all the stuff that should really matter is actually there.
Yeah.
And it's not easy that you are able to get, a spouse that is, which is so understanding or whatever. And the work that I'm doing, I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying the work.
Yeah.
Maybe the results don't always come.
Yeah.
So that, actually, I remember telling her this because I actually felt this way.
Yeah.
I feel like to a large extent, I may have already won in life.
How do you balance work with home life? Like, is she involved at all at work or?
No. She's very successful and does her own own thing. The balancing is tough.
Yeah.
But the kids are old actually. They're really involved, so they understand.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. You get them involved, and then they understand. But no, I mean, I work every Sunday. Sometimes even if it's just the afternoon now.
Yeah.
Because the afternoon is free. The morning and evening we'll spend time with the family.
Yeah.
You figure your own balance.
Yeah.
But that's obviously balancing is the hard part.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only way I actually get myself to come then to work the next day and still be okay if something's not worked out.
Yeah.
Even if our Instagram account has been banned.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out and we will. It's okay. It's not as big a deal. It can get worse. Could have been worse.
100%.
And yeah, it's how.
I think, it's just the ability to, at those moments where it feels like the world is falling down, to kind of just zone out or like look at yourself from a third person perspective and actually, analyze the problems to figure out whether it's not actually the end of the world. Final part of this, conversation, looking forward. You're 2 years in. If you could go back to the day before you started, what is like the one thing that you would tell yourself? And it doesn't have to be something inspirational. I just want like a real version of Darayus 2 years into work, going back to Darayus the day before he started, telling him something.
I wish I could have prepped myself for what was to come.
Yeah. Is that your prep though?
I mean, I don't know. I wish I could have warned myself that the emotional roller coaster is not easy. And I used to believe I'm a very strong, willed, headed, emotionally very stable, very happy in general kind of guy. Yeah. And these things will not bother me. Yeah. But it's not easy, right? Sometimes you have so many losses. Yeah. You got to still find the motivation to get yourself. Yeah. I didn't expect that. I wish I was prepared. Like now I'm prepared. Now I don't care how bad it gets. I just know I tell myself one thing, could have been worse.
Where do you see True Diamond in the next 5 years? And, not the investor pitch deck version again, but where did I see the brand in 5 years?
Yeah, I really want to, create a brand that is obviously well known and known for one thing sharply, and that's it. Just so that, we said if anyone thinks of rings, they need to think of True Diamond. So want to reach that genuine stage where they do not buy a ring before they visit the store once.
Okay.
So want to reach the ability of, just that association being so strong that they know, and then I think the rest will happen. It's want to be able to reach that level of awareness to that extent. And that's it. And then after that, we think India is just the start. I think some of the stuff that we've done, we would love to take it internationally.
Okay.
But I think that's much. I think after 5 years, not next first 5 years, 7, 8 years maybe, enough of a market in India to crack.
Yeah.
And then we figure.
Fair enough. Last section, rapid fire. So don't think.
Okay.
Just respond.
I do this, by the way, in interviews now. It's this technique to interview people.
Yeah.
You get really solid answers.
Yeah. Let's hope we can ask some solid questions.
Okay.
Gold or diamonds, personally?
Oh, diamonds.
Yeah. Most overrated thing in content creation right now?
Overrated.
Yeah.
I think founder-led content.
Underrated?
Micro dramas.
I like that answer. The one brand whose content strategy you wish you'd built. Or it could also alternatively be one brand whose content strategy you find amazing.
I like, I think Comet does a very interesting job.
Yeah.
It's
the collab shoes.
Yeah. And it's planned, it's structured. It's very focused. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
With each one, they have a method to that madness. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. If you another industry, if you weren't doing jewelry, what would be one industry that you would do?
I would have said perfumery and cosmetics, but I think I'm maybe done with that. I think longevity would be one.
Yeah. Product or treatment or
I think it's got to be a combination.
Yeah.
But that space is interesting. Fitness enthusiast.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of millennials are now getting at that stage where they may want a lot more wellness and so I think longevity is a very interesting.
Shark Tank, would you go back?
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, understand, even despite it didn't work, it not working out for us, we had a significant, uplift.
So it did work out for you.
Oh, exactly. While on screen it didn't, but it did, and thank God we created the content that we did. That content really went far.
Yeah.
So eventually, it's a massive win. Yeah. Any day, do it again. Do it as many times as we can.
Fair enough.
I wish.
One thing Parin does better than you.
Attention to detail.
Yeah.
Yeah. He catches like a small number off. He can't sleep at night.
Okay.
I sleep.
Best piece of advice you've ever received about building and who gave it?
About building?
Yeah.
Oh. Jump and the wings will just come.
And who gave it?
This, I think, was my ex-boss. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on this one. I don't remember who gave it. I remember the advice stuck.
Yeah. Whoever, if you gave Darayus this advice, you better comment on this video.
Yeah. Just jump and the wings will follow,
That's actually good advice. What do you want yourself to be remembered for? Not True Diamond. Like, what do you yourself want to be remembered for?
I would love to be known as someone who built a cool brand in a very, very competitive space. So that it's a very challenging thing, right? So I'd love to be just remembered for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, simple.
Well, that's it, Darayus. Thank you. This is exactly the conversation that, Day Zero exists for. What I find remarkable isn't the content. It's what you build through the content. It's a specific kind of stubbornness, and it takes... It's a specific kind of stubbornness that it takes to keep doing things the way you do, right? Like, we've just started a content journey, and, I can tell you that, there's a lot of times where I'm just like, what are we even doing?
Yeah.
So having done that for 2 years and the way you've done it, I think is absolutely commendable. Especially, again, because it's in a category that's so conventional, it's so historic in its way, and you're trying to disrupt it. And I think that's a daunting task. And I did think that deserves a lot of respect. The Shark Tank moment, I keep coming back to it, not because of the rejection, but because of what you did the next morning or whenever you did do it. Calling Arushi, making that thing with Emery, and taking something which, typically puts people either out of business or, really down in the dumps mentally, and making that a win. And that's not content strategy, that's a mindset. Like I said, it's the stubbornness. If you're watching this and building something, take the playbook, take Zirak's lessons, take the Shark Tank reframe, but most importantly, take the attitude. The story isn't over if you don't go away. Sometimes that's exactly where the beginning is. Episode 6, Darayus Mehta, True Diamond. Go follow them. And I promise you will stay for Zirak and Sarsha.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.